this is the plage of Eromadi, which is in Saint-Jean-de-Luz. I'm going to go now for a beer. Just ridden here on my bike. So here we are at the plage of Eromadi. We've just ridden here on the bike from the van, and we're going to go now for a beer. Well, I'm going to go for a beer. My dog's going to have a drink of water. Quite hot. It's lovely. Anyway, I'll see you later. This is the Bay of Zorons on the Atlantic coast, the Bay of Biscay. I'm heading down that way. So this is the beach, one of the beaches, because there are many, in Castro Urdiales in Cantabria. So I've left the Pays Basque and I'm now in Cantabria. I've never been here before. It's a really nice place, and apparently it's famous for anchovies. So I'm going to try some anchovies. So this place is really quite nice, and I've passed some really good restaurants. I'm just going to choose one now, but it's a little bit like Eastbourne. It's like full of old people in wheelchairs and stuff. But you know, good on them. Taking in the sea air and the sun, why not? Let's come away from the sea. And it looks like I found a bit of the old town, full of tapas bars. So I think I might have some of that. So I've just had the most amazing mixed tapas. Those croquettes with ham, with salt cod, with cèpe, and with sheep's cheese. It was absolutely delicious. Now my dog wants to go for a swim. Why not? I'll let him do that. I think I might go for a sleep actually. So today we're in Comillas, which is sort of west of Santander. I don't know how many kilometers, but over there, where you see those caravans and tents and stuff, is where my van is parked. And this is the view from there. This is a place called Comillas. It's in Cantabria, just before we get to Asturias. And we'll see more of this place as we go along. Let's go. So we've walked from where the van is, which is about 2.5 kilometers away, something like that. And we're now going to take this pathway, which goes up it's got to go up because we're going to a mirador. A mirador is where there's going to be a nice view. So the mirador looks like in the middle of nowhere. In fact, there's two. I guess one is higher than the other. So we're going to take this path and see where we go. Hopefully we'll have a lovely view at the end. So, just climbed up that pathway up to here. Got a lovely view of a little beach. And I think over there is the mirador. I can see some picnic tables. And there's even camper vans up there. I bet they've been wild camping, which is a little bit tolerated in Spain. I haven't done any of that yet, but I don't think I will do unless I get really in trouble to find a site. But up to now I've managed to find a site. This one I'm at is not the best, but the view is fabulous and the little village is okay in Comillas, a little port. So we're going to walk on up to the, in fact there's a restaurant. Hopefully I can get a coffee or something. That'd be nice, and a drink for the dog, because that really did climb high, about 1 kilometre of climb, and we're at the top now on the cliffs from the bottom. Yeah, so anyway, I thought we could walk all the way along the cliff top, but I think there's another walk the other side of Comillas, which we'll do maybe later today or tomorrow, probably tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. That'll be my last night. I go off on Wednesday. So yeah, maybe we'll do it tomorrow or maybe this afternoon. We'll see how we feel. Because it is, well, we're going to end up doing quite a few kilometres today, but we're not counting, are we? Anyway, let's get off to the mirador and have a look at the view from there. And as you can see, the side of the countryside away from the sea looks almost alpine. This is Cantabria. We'll be going into Asturias tomorrow, not tomorrow, Wednesday, day after tomorrow. But it looks definitely alpine. And I don't know if you can just see in the distance there, but you can just see the pintxos de Luarca, the mountains which are in Asturias. And we'll be going to Gijón in 2 days. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna change my mind about wild camping, because here you can stay, by the looks of it, I'm going to ask in a minute, but it looks like these people have all stayed here. It's right over the sea. I don't need any electricity, I've got my solar stuff. I'm totally autonomous, so I'll be fine here. I might do this on the way back. So we've got to the Mirador de la Coneja. As I was saying about this free camping, it is free camping here, and I've been speaking to 2 Polish guys, and one of them's been here 2 weeks, just here. But I mean, I can see the draw of it, because if we turn it around, this is the view that he has from his camper van. What do you think of that? Absolutely fabulous. And there's a little bit of a mist in the background, so you cannot see the pintxos de Luarca. But you can see down here to the beaches and all along here, and this is in fact part of the pilgrimage walk of Santiago de Compostela, and it's absolutely beautiful. So this is El Capricho, which was built and designed by Gaudi, and it's one of the few works of Gaudi which are outside of Barcelona, and it was actually built for Güell, from the famous Park Güell in Barcelona, his father-in-law, Antonio López y López, the Marquis of Comillas, where we are now. So there you go. So now we're just cycling in to Luarca from Toulouse. Hopefully we can get there on this national or even smaller roads. Let's see. See you in Luarca. This is some sort of Spanish festival where the kids have all got like stuff where they're whipping people, and I've just been whipped on the back by one little git. And then there's loads of people with like big masks on. I don't know what it is, but I'll have to find out. There's some celebration in Luarca, or it might be a national one. I'm not sure. famous for tuna, apparently, and anchovies. So this is the hermitage at the top of Luarca, and there is Luarca down below, and I'm telling you, the hill we've just climbed is a big F-off hill. It's massive, and climbing it with a Jack Russell in the back is not really, well, it's hard, there you go, but it was nice. It was nice going there. Just had a lovely lunch on the port. I got a doggy bag for Stan, who will be really pleased. And there are the mountains in the distance. So this is the remains of the church of Santiago. As you know, Santiago in Spanish is Saint Jacques, and it's on the trail of Santiago de Compostela, which goes on to Compostela in about 200 kilometers, maybe 150 kilometers. And they say that there's also a cemetery here, and there's a lot of evidence that people in this area were really afflicted with the flu epidemic, which struck just after the First World War in 1918. So let's have a quick look inside, see if there's any. So as you see, the Church of Saint Jacques is pretty much in ruin. So this is Playa de Catedrales, and I think just the other side is Galicia. This side is Asturias, but I could be wrong. It may be a little bit further. Let's go and have a little look around this little place. So as you can see, the weather is pretty dull. And the weather is pretty dull because of the huge forest fires in Galicia, just over there. And we're going to try and get into Galicia, but we have to watch the news because the road could be cut and it could be a little bit dangerous. So hopefully I can go further and into Portugal, but it really depends on the forest fires if I can actually go. And of course the problem with the forest fires blotting out the sun is that I cannot charge my solar power because there's no bloody sun. First world problem, I know, but it'd be really useful to charge my solar to get some power for my for everything. Especially my fridge. Don't want my beers going hot. There you go. First world problems again. But hopefully it will clear. There's a little bit of a wind coming, and it's coming off the sea, so hopefully it will blow it away. So this is the beach just before the Playa de Catedrales, the beach of the cathedrals. And I'll tell you more about that when we get there. So walking from here over to the Playa de Catedrales, In fact, it's written almost like in Portuguese, but I guess it's Galician. And I'll tell you what that name is after. All along this cliff top, going to the Playa de Catedrales, is this boardwalk, which makes it really easy to walk. No, tudua. Oh, that was me talking to the dog, sorry about that. Yeah, so we're going to follow it all the way down, and hopefully we'll get a view of the Playa de Catedrales, because there's some interesting sort of stuff to talk about there as well. So let's go. The Playa de Catedrales is the other side of that. I mean, we're going to find out, but that's like a sort of an arch, which was obviously done by the sea, eroded by the sea. It's really wild here, but it's also a little bit sort of organised, if you like, and I'll tell you all about that. In fact, I'll tell you about it now. In fact, you cannot go down to the beach of the cathedral unless you have a permit, and the permit is available online. And I was talking with my neighbour earlier, and apparently the next permits are available. They're free. You just have to book them. It's just to make sure there's not that many people on this beach, because it's a pretty amazing place, I think. Well, we'll see after. And the next one available is the 27th of August. Today is the 17th, so in 10 days' time, well, I won't be here. But I can't go on the beach anyway, because I have Stanley the Jack Russell, and they're not allowed on beaches here. So there you go. So there in the distance is the Playa de Catedrales, just up there. And those people who are on the beach have obviously got a permit. But another thing that my neighbour said, I sound like a bit of a nosy bugger here, but my neighbour said that you have to go past some sort of kiosk that checks your permits. But he said if you just go past that, he said there's a place where you can just duck under a barrier and go. But I don't think I will, because I can't anyway, because I can't take the dog, so he would be a bit pissed off if I left him at the top, so I won't go. But there it is over there. Maybe we'll get a closer view in a second. So I wasn't expecting to be the only one here at the Playa de Catedrales, but on the other hand, I wasn't expecting it to be so full of people. I mean, look, it's totally loads and loads and loads of people. It sort of puts you off a little bit, really. But anyway, we'll try to get some photos, maybe from the other side. You can just see the beach down there, and everybody seems to be trying to get a photo down there. So let's have a look down there. So I don't know what season you need to be here, but it's definitely not August if you want to get some nice photos. But the atmosphere is sort of slightly broken by the amount of people here. It's massive. Everybody wants to come here. As I said, I didn't expect to be alone, but I didn't expect this many people either. And I can see now why they got a permit to go onto their beach, and they really sort of cut back on the amount of people that can go there, because otherwise it would be totally black with people. Crazy, but lovely. So this is the other side of the Playa de Catedrales, and as you can see, there's a lot less people here. And I think from up there I can actually see the playa, maybe. I noticed that there are a lot of places. It seems that vans are allowed here, because I spoke to the guy earlier and they were perched on a cliff top, and he said that nobody's come around. He's been there for like 5 days. I suppose as long as they don't leave any rubbish and whatever, I suppose it's okay. Anyway, I'm going to have a look up there and maybe find out. I fancy a night right next to the sea as well. So I think this part of the coast is called the Death Coast because so many ships have been shipwrecked here. As you can see in the water, there are lots of rocks, and you can just see the shadow of some pretty low-lying rocks as well. The Death Coast. That sounds very, very inviting, I don't think. Just been for a lovely walk around here on the cliff tops. We've been back for about 12 kilometers. Could have gone further, may go further tomorrow, but it's absolutely fabulous. And I found a spot right up just behind me, and I can park my van right on the edge of a cliff. I mean, not too close obviously, and stay the night by the looks of it. I've charged up my solar stuff, so I don't need the sun. Hopefully the sun will be back tomorrow. And yeah, I think I'm good, because I've said to the campsite where I am, I've got electricity so I can charge everything up. I'll do that when I get back. My solar's charged, my bike is charged, everything will be charged, and my fridge will be cold as anything, cold as ice, as they say. And I'll be coming here, I reckon, for a night or two. I've seen some people there. I've asked them if it's legal or not, and they said, well, none of them seemed to know. There was French, there was some Spanish, and none of them knew whether it was okay. All they said was, there's no signs. So as there's no signs, they're going to go for it. So we'll see. If they're still there tomorrow, we'll find out if they're going to, you know, get thrown off the cliff by the police or the Guardia Civil. And if not, I'm going to go there tomorrow, because it looks so lovely. It's right on the edge of a cliff. It will be wild camping, obviously. You know, we'll take care of nature and everything. Make sure we take our rubbish with us. Don't leave anything but footprints. Take only photos, as it were. And but we'll find out tomorrow. So anyway, I'm going to go back now. I've been told by my German neighbours at the campsite that there is an absolutely fabulous Galician restaurant about 1 kilometre down the road. So I'm going to go back, sort out my photos and stuff, charge all my stuff ready for tomorrow, and then I'm going to go off and have dinner in a Galician restaurant, hopefully to have pulpo gallegos. There you go. So see you later. So today we're on the west coast of Spain, northwest coast, and this is Valdovino, a quiet, more or less, little town. It was a fishing village, I guess, and now it's like a surf spot. This is Valdovino. I'm going to be here for a day and a night, and then heading off to Porto Duerme, which is down towards Santiago de Compostela. So off we go. So here we are at Santiago de Compostela, or as they say in France, Santiago de Compostela. And most of these people around here are pilgrims. Having walked here, we walked about 8 kilometers to get here. And so I don't guess we'll get a badge, but anyway, here we are at this pilgrimage place. And in fact, over there in the cathedral, it's said that the last remains of St. James is in there, which is Saint-Jacques in France and in Spain. And apparently they're in there. There you go. I was going to say something else then, so I knew another factoid, but I can't remember what it was. So there you go. But millions come here every year along the... Ah yes, that was it. And the reason why there is the shell for the Santiago de Compostela is because St. James, one of the apostles, was a fisherman. There you go. Useless factoid that you probably knew anyway. There you go. We are in Santiago de Compostela in Galicia, in the far west of Spain.